I now know where all the gun groups stand on red flag laws, so let's go ahead and talk about it. What's up, Wolverines, and welcome back to the channel. As you can see, I'm in my podcast studio and not my regular studio because I have a lot to read and I don't feel like standing up and reading it. I talked to a bunch of different gun groups and I know exactly where they stand on red flag laws. But before we get into that, we are brought to you by 1776 Supply Company. 1776 Supply Company, stop shop for all things 80%. They sell P80s, kits, parts, and everything else you need to complete your build. Check them out at 1776 Supply Company. If you don't know who I am, my name is Crump. I'm an investigative journalist, and I concentrate on the 2A space. If you can do me a huge favor, like, comment, and subscribe, share this video, help me get my word out. I would definitely appreciate it. And this is very, very important. So a little background. I read an article in Axios about how the gun rights groups are split on red flag laws. So I decided I wanted to test the waters and see exactly where everyone stands and to check out to see if the split actually exists. And short answer is no. No, it doesn't. Not at all. But let's get into this. I talked to a bunch of different gun groups, and one was neutral. And I say neutral with a question mark because it sounds like they are for it. But if you read what they're for, it might not be exactly red flag laws. I don't know. I'll let you guys to decide. I'm not going to tell you what to think. That is your job. Okay, so let's get into who is neutral. That would be the National Shooting Sports Foundation, better known as NSSF. NSSF is the biggest trade organization in the world when it comes to firearms. They put on the year's Super Bowl of Guns SHOT Show out in Vegas. It's a fun time. If you haven't went and you can go, I suggest that you do at least once. They came out and said that they support red flag laws with due process, which kind of confuses me because I don't know of any red flag law with due process. Let me read you their exact statement because they don't oppose it, but they don't exactly support it either. NSSF has never opposed extreme risk protection orders or so-called red flag laws, so long as those laws take into consideration constitutional due process rights. That was from Mark Olivia, who is the managing director of public affairs. We have always expressed serious concerns with ex parte orders. Unfortunately, these laws are ripe for potential abuse, and anyone subject to these orders must have the right to confront the evidence and witnesses in front of a judge. So that really doesn't sound like red flag laws. So that's why I put them in the neutral category, because I'm not really sure exactly what the hell they're talking about there. All right, let's get to who opposes it, because no one came out and said red flag laws is a great idea, and only one was neutral. The rest of the gun groups I talked to were all against it. Okay, I talked to GOA, of course. As you guys can imagine, GOA is against red flag laws because they're against any laws. If you say a person should own a rocket launcher, GOA would be like, yeah, we agree. They should be able to own a rocket launcher. That's just how hardcore GOA is when it comes to gun rights. And they said, this is from Aiden Johnston, who is the director of public affairs. So-called red flag laws are gun confiscations. I agree. And there is no amount of due process that can reconciliate them with the Constitution. Sorry, I got a little bit tongue-tied there. GOA opposes all red flag laws, no matter what fake due process is included. Into what fake due process is a little bit later when I get to Hold My Guns. I had a long conversation with Sarah Albrecht, who's a founding member of Hold My Guns, and she had a lot to say about fake due process. So we'll get into that in a little bit. But I wanted to go to Firearms Policy Coalition. This is read in the order that I received them. So FBC, of course, opposes red flag laws because they are a no compromise, just like GOA. They just concentrate more on the lawsuit aspect than on the lobbying aspect. FBC said this: FBC has always opposed so-called red flag laws, sometimes characterized as extreme risk protection orders or gun violence restraining order laws, on practical policy and constitutional grounds. Now let's go to the Second Amendment Foundation. The Second Amendment Foundation is one of the largest gun groups in the country. They have defeated a lot of anti-gun laws in the past and have sued in the past over anti-gun laws and have won. Alan Gottlieb, who is the founder of SAF, gave me and MLN a comment, and let me read it for you. We all want to keep any kind of weapon out of the hands of anyone who is a danger to themselves or others. But so-called red flag laws do not afford due process protections that are critical to protect fundamental enumerated constitutional rights. So once again, Second Amendment Foundation is against red flag laws. Let's go to the Second Amendment organization. The Second Amendment organization is ran by Rob Pincus, and they are a nonprofit gun group that concentrates on education. They have opposed various gun control measures in the past. And let me read what I got from Rob. Rob said, "We already have legal tools to address situations involving people who are threats, protective orders, and people who need mental health evaluation, involuntary commitments." He's talking about the Baker Act there. You should read up on that. Red flag laws are disingenuous, thinly veiled gun control because they create a mechanism to take someone's firearms, but they do not involve mental health care professionals to diagnose or treat any real problems, which is a big, big deal. So he makes a couple good points there about how we already have the Baker Act. So why would we just take away someone's guns if they are a danger to themselves or others? They can use other methods to do harm to themselves or others. Pills if they're suicidal, for example, or a knife if they want to kill someone. Now let's go to Hold My Guns. This is a conversation I had with Sarah, who is adamant about the anti-gunners trying to change the definition of due process. And that's what they try to do. And she brings up a couple good points here, and I want to read her statement. This is Sarah Albrecht. She is the executive director and founder of Hold My Guns. To paraphrase John Adams, who is one of my favorite founding fathers, by the way, if we do not have due process, we are the same as cattle. Sarah Albrecht told me, red flag laws are without due process. We vehemently oppose red flag laws and caution that anti-gun groups are trying to change the definition of due process. We want to remind everyone that a right delayed is a right denied. And I 100% agree with her. If you look at what they're trying to do, they're trying to say they get due process down the road, but not right up front. And a right delayed is a right denied, and I 100% agree with Sarah. Sarah is a very smart woman, and everyone should check out holdmyguns.org. The National Association for Gun Rights, NAGR. I know I've had some problems with them in the past, but they did give me a comment, so that's a good thing. They said, we oppose any and all so-called red flag gun confiscation laws, whether it's at the state or federal level. All red flag gun confiscation laws infringe on your due process and Second Amendment rights. We have written extensively about how dangerous these laws are and why we oppose them. That's from Chris Stone, who is the director of communications. Chris is kind of a good guy. I like Chris. All right, now for the National Rifle Association. You guys probably remember a long time ago, the National Rifle Association put out a video with Chris Cox where it kind of insinuated that the NRA supports red flag laws, but their stance has seemed to have changed. They did give a comment to Axios that said red flag laws are a non-starter. They didn't give me a statement, but they did point me to their website where they do have a statement on red flag laws. And I'm going to read that. It says the NRA will fight any attempt to treat the Second Amendment as a second-class disfavored right. This includes gun control disguised as so-called red flag legislations, which empowers judges to nullify Second Amendment rights with a stroke of a pen and flies in the face of due process, the presumption of innocence, and fundamental fairness. There we go. We have one group that's neutral and a bunch of groups that oppose red flag laws. Remember, the left is trying to portray us as being split on red flag laws, and we're really not. It seems like we're united. The gun rights groups are united in the fight against red flag laws, and I believe most gun owners are as well. I'm going to list a link in the description that's going to have the numbers of every single member of Congress. I want you to go through and at least contact your senators and tell them that you vehemently oppose red flag laws and you want them to vote against it. Right now, Chris Murphy and John Cornyn are negotiating everything, and right now it looks like they might have the 60 votes to pass some type of red flag law. So we need to prevent that by going ahead and pressuring them to drop it. I encourage everyone to call the senators. I will, even though my senators are liberal douchebags, I'm still going to call them and tell them that I oppose any type of red flag laws. Find the link below. And with that, we are out of here. Check me out on my live channel, John Crump Live on YouTube. I'm going to try to get this video out before I go live, but I might not. We go live Monday through Thursday at 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. So come over and check us out. I do it with Rich, and it's a lot of fun. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Stay ever vigilant. Stay ever free. Remember that I love you very much. And Wolverine's motherfucker.